My name is Jennifer Taylor, and I'm Assistant City Attorney with the City of Omaha. Let's talk about TIF for a few minutes. When people talk about TIF, they're not talking about existing funds that can be used to pay for city needs. They're talking about funding that is generated from future development projects and used to help pay for them. TIF, or Tax Increment Financing, is the use of future property taxes paid by a property owner to reimburse money spent to construct a project. We're not talking about a single-family property owner. We're talking about owners of large developments like apartment buildings, offices, and retail developments. Tax increment financing can only be used in places that are eligible for TIF. So here's how it works. The development or redevelopment of a property results in an increase in valuation. That results in increased tax payments to be made by the owner of that large-scale development, what is referred to as the increment. That is then used to reimburse the owner or developer for certain eligible expenses incurred in building the project. These expenses are for public infrastructure, utilities, historic rehabilitation, or often to address unique construction issues that occur in older areas of the city. We often hear about the 15 and 20-year time periods during which the property taxes paid by the property owner are used to reimburse costs incurred in building the project. Once the project is complete, that property owner pays the full amount of the annual property taxes, and that tax payment is divided into two buckets. The money associated with the base value of the property continues to be paid to the local taxing entities, like schools, while the additional taxes associated with the new development or the increased assessed value, that increment, are used to reimburse certain costs of construction. For example, Midtown Crossing. In 2008, that project was constructed. For the subsequent 15 years, the increased amount of tax payments, that increment, has been used to repay some of the costs involved with building Midtown Crossing. Their 15-year period has ended. So as of this year and starting next year, the full increment that is generated by that project, which is $3.7 million, will now be going entirely to the taxing jurisdictions annually, every year. So that project, although it was deferred for 15 years, now generates an additional $3.7 million for the taxing jurisdictions every year. That is why we use TIF. That's the benefit of the bargain of utilizing this financing tool. TIF provides for future increased tax revenues that result from a project that increases the value of the property to be used when they're paid by the property owner to repay certain costs associated with the construction of that project. Those revenues do not exist without the project and do not represent any money held by the city for the benefit of its citizens.